What is going on, guys? We are back on another video today. We're doing another career resimulation on Madden 22, and this time it is of Matthew Stafford. We just did a career simulation of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Now we're doing a resimulation of Matthew Stafford, some of the biggest names from the Super Bowl later today. But interestingly enough, Stafford is like one of those prime career resim guys because, of course, we all know that the Lions, let's just, cut to the chase. They wasted years. Obviously, they wasted years of him. They never seemed to feel the team that was either A, good enough, or B, complete. There were some years, maybe not many, but there were some years where the Lions defense was insanely good, but their offense was never, built up properly. Then for a moment, they had a decent receiving group, and then, of course, their defense has been bad for years, so it just never worked out. It was always an underwhelming team, and it seems to be that way for the near future. Of course, Detroit did a good job trading Stafford and getting some picks and whatnot. We'll see what they do with all that. But here, the point is, Matthew Stafford. We'll see what happens if he were to be redrafted in today's NFL and hopefully play for a new team. See what happens, because otherwise it's kind of irrelevant, kind of pointless if he just goes right back to the Lions. Why would I even, why do I even do the video? But, of course, we don't have him on our list of, favorites. He could still go here. It wouldn't even surprise me if he does, which, once again, please, Detroit, just don't do it. But this is what Stafford looks like right here for the scouting report. So you can see, never seen a window he won't throw into. Not bad, actually. Beautiful spiral on all his passes. Fair enough. Decent ability to recognize pressure. Fair enough. Knows when to throw the ball away. I guess. Will break the pocket occasionally to throw. I guess that's fair. Lightning quick release. It also ignores lower half. Maybe not the lightning quick release, but acceleration poor to marginal, fair enough. Agility, decent, yeah, all that stuff. But strength, great to elite, and then throw power, great to elite. We don't have anything on him here. We hate trucking, so we can definitely tell that the game, the potentials means basically nothing. Once again, I think that is potential based on the actual class. So if there's not much trucking quarterbacks, then if he's the highest, then he'll have an A. Technically, I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but that's really all you can see for now. We will show you what he looks like whenever he actually gets drafted. Once again, we are hoping that he doesn't get drafted to Detroit because, like we said, obviously it's a different scenario. Maybe Detroit, with their draft picks, they actually, develop a team quickly, especially with the cap room they have, maybe. But the whole kind of point of this is to not have him go to Detroit, so anywhere at all. Even if he were even on the Packers or the Vikings or something, Maybe not in real life necessarily for, some of those teams, but as far as in-game, there is some talent there. Just want to see him go somewhere that's I wouldn't say ready to go, but at least has more potential, even like the Panthers or something. But let's go into the draft, see what the teams take. The Jaguars, imagine. Could you imagine? No, dude, why? Jacksonville, though. Trevor Lawrence is literally still a freaking superstar. What do you trade off Trevor Lawrence? I don't know, but we're going to take a look at Matthew Stafford, the way I built him, which is pretty similar to the way he was as a rookie in Madden. But, of course, number 1 overall, 77 overall Stafford. I think he was a 79 overall when the game came out, but obviously, the Madden scale has been changed quite a bit. So I was wearing number 4 here because I would assume they have somebody wearing number 9. But it's changed quite a bit, so it's kind of fair to have this. Stafford with 97 throw power out the gate makes quite a bit of sense. What was it? 80 deep, 80 medium, and did I really give him 85 short? I guess, apparently. 79 awareness, 78 throw on the run, 78 play action, 76 under pressure, 79 break sack with 78 speed, 81 excel, 75 agility. I like all of the traits here. I think all of the ratings we have are pretty damn near spot on. Give him 63 trucking. I mean, that's really it. But once again, I think you got to trade Stafford off to potentially, like I said, the Panthers. Jaguars, as once again, Stafford was pick 1 overall. So even that second-round pick wouldn't have been enough to actually get him, but at least it's a little bit closer. I'm also going to go on a limb and say that they would release Darnold, as if you have any sort of faith in Darnold, you have way more faith in Stafford. So obviously, we're going to try to save some money and do that. But this, I'm trying to remember back, but this is a definite, in my opinion, a better roster than Stafford has ever had, just based on like roster talent. Once again, this team, for whatever reason, underperformed quite a bit in real life, so you know, we'll have to see what actually happens, but we can obviously see some dev-ups were there as well. I just kind of need to draft O-line, and they're kind of good to go. But speaking of good to go, if you left a like and subscribed, I'd be good to go and grab some tissues, because I'd be so happy. But if you know, later on in the video, you're like, you know what, I actually enjoyed this. Screw it. I will do that. Much appreciated. Also, probably a stream tonight around 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. I said that a few times now, but yeah. The reason why I'm saying probably is just because I always seem to sell, but yeah, if I could guarantee anything, it would be tonight. All right, so be prepared. Twitch.tv/Jeromepkr. So 15-2 playoffs out the gate. Didn't change the scheme or anything. Just, you know, plugged Matthew Stafford right in, and we came out swinging. And I gotta say we as in, like, we, the video people. Like, I don't consider this me or anything. I don't care, right? But let's take a look at Stafford. Numbers weren't perfect, but as far as comparing that to real life, you know, 22 more touchdowns, 10 less interceptions, about double the yards. Completion percentage was like 10% up. Passer rating was like freaking 36, 37 up. Looking at McCaffrey, obviously an insane talent. Receiving, DJ Moore was not the number one here, apparently. Robbie Anderson over everyone. Blocking, yeah, that's kind of expected, as the offensive line looked bad, but Stafford, he's already preconditioned because he already exists. This is like a reincarnation Stafford, so he's already been prepared for the pressure. Apparently does well anyways. Pass rush was iffy. I'm going to be honest. I know McCaffrey went off, but outside of Christian McCaffrey, I don't see how this team went 15-2. But let's see. Fifth in offensive yardage. Defensively, fourth. Really? I know those are yards, but scoring had to be up there too. Number 3 in scoring, so even better. And then defense even better. Okay, so could Stafford win a Super Bowl year one? That's really what we're asking here. As Christian McCaffrey wins MVP, I don't expect... Oh, well, actually, rookie. Stafford number 2 behind Corral. Is it Corral or Coral? I mean, it's got to be Corral, right? But Aiden Hutchinson apparently to the Lions. Quarterback, Stafford on the list at all? No. Number 8, fair enough. Christian McCaffrey obviously wins that award. And it didn't appear that we won any other awards. So Christian McCaffrey cleaned up nicely. And Stafford was at least recognized as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFC, which is already a pretty good start. But the Bears in the divisional, which means that they obviously beat a team to get here. I did not mean to go in. I don't want to, impede on the process here. Tough job as a rookie quarterback to make the Super Bowl year one, but we'll see if he can. And he cannot. They lose instantly. The thing is, the Bears scoring 31 points is a bit crazy, but fair enough, as it's a Super Bowl rematch between the Bears and the Colts. Can the Bears get the leg up? They don't. They lose again against the Colts. That is harsh. All right, I don't know how Stafford should feel about going from like 60 mil to 7 mil, but only being an 80 overall team. But maybe they signed some youngsters. Maybe they killed them in the draft. Who knows? But they went O-line, first round. He's normal dev. He's not very good, but it is a position of need. Not bad. They go running back. Definitely not a position of need. Middle linebacker, a position of need, but, he's fast, but very raw. Cornerback, yeah, iffy, because, Panthers do have a lot of corners, but they go with a running back who's just awful. He's an 84 speed, no trucking. Like, what's even the point of having him? I don't understand. All right, let's see who they kept. I just went best by best on the depth chart. So, offensively, DJ Moore, was he? I think he was already a superstar, but he just didn't feel like a superstar the way he played. But yeah, he was a superstar. Offensive line, they added a new center, maybe a new left guard. Was Walker on this team? He must have been, right? He must have been drafted. Tremble, fair enough. Still there. Robbie, definitely maybe need a new wide receiver. Defensively, they kept Gilmore. Thompson went up to an X factor. They added Jimmy Ward. They added Jayon. Or did they already have Jayon? Did they trade for Jayon? No, I think they added Jayon. They need a new left outside linebacker. I can understand getting rid of Hassan Reddick. He's very costly because he's an outside, and Madden doesn't know the difference between an edge rusher and a coverage or, non-edge rushing linebacker. But corners are still intact. I mean, it's a low overall, but it's actually a pretty good team, though. I'm not really sure where this overall is coming from. Well, I can see where it's coming from, but as far as the way the Panthers started, at least they kept the majority of those good players. We make the playoffs, but not in like a spectacular fashion like last season. We had the freaking bye week last season. This year, though, not even close. It's just not even close at all, but let's see how we played. Lost the last 3. I mean, this team probably does play some pretty good teams. The division's not the easiest to conquer, and, well, maybe this season it was, but in the NFC, yeah, some decent teams to play there. You've seen some names, but still good enough to make it. Stafford, 26 touchdowns, 11 picks, 37-62 for yards. Completion percentage was super down. Christian McCaffrey's still getting his, but we may need to change the scheme up a little bit. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey should be the number 1 guy, getting catches and running and all that, but he's not that good for us with Stafford, at least as the starter, to just be the guy, only the guy. You got to let it open up a little bit, let some of the other talent in, let those guys compete. Obviously, McCaffrey, number 3 for MVP, is he's just racking up the stats, but can we rack up the wins with just basically him? I mean, we're not getting a chance with other guys because it's funneling through him only. They beat the Packers. Now the Lions are already in the playoffs. They beat the Lions, the 15-2 Cowboys. And, of course, they lose. But not a bad little run. Year 2, you're like, okay, that's not the craziest to follow up with. That's an improvement again. So, not bad at all. But let's take a look at how the loss turned out. 28-10 was that? Was that 28-0? 28-10. I'm just a little off it. But, yeah, just not a great game for the offense, really. 18 for 30. I mean, just not many yards. Running wasn't even great for Christian McCaffrey. Just got beat. Simply put, got beat. Sack totals, 4 for DeMarcus. Offensive line definitely needs some improvement. Field goal kicking didn't really matter anyways. They got Blankenship, which is kind of cool, but that's pretty much it. There's nothing really special going on there. All right, let's take a look at this draft recap. See what the team went for. They went for line again. Okay, I mean, the overalls aren't great, but fair enough. Randy House is a hidden development trait lineman. Let's take a look at his dev real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on these drafts just because the last one kind of went a little slowly, and you got to remember that it was a starting point that was a little later on. I think technically the team needs a left tackle more, so I'm going to put him at left tackle. And then they went with a center, Floyd Bright, another hidden development trait. I mean, this is huge. That's what she said. I mean, I kind of wish, but, what's in my mind is it also makes me feel good. Also, star development trait. Don't know if any of the other guys that have been halfway decent. A strong safety, normal. He's very athletic, though. I doubt this guy. I was about to say, doubt it. This guy maybe star or better. No. Peter Fowler, some potential, but nothing massive. But those 2 linemen, good picks, especially for a team that was drafting 29th overall. Those are huge additions. So for this, I think we're going to go with the Saints playbook because they do obviously play similarly with the running back as Carolina, but I think they're going to pass the ball a little bit more to other guys when we do this. So let's do that. Also, what is the Saints offensive? Multiple power. Back in the playoffs, 3-way tie for 10-7 in the division for first, if you will. But apparently the worst of the 3. Shocking that we would have the worst of the 3. Big shocker there. But let's see the stats and awards. Stafford definitely better. Let's see how McCaffrey played, though. Still pretty good. So, I mean, that was definitely an improvement. DJ Moore got more playing time. Tremble got some more touchdowns. Yeah, we'll at least do that. If we're not going to change it again, we'll at least have that as our scheme. Brian Burns killed it. Gross Matos with 8 sacks, picks. Pretty tame stuff. Blankenship was awful. MVP, definitely not going to be McCaffrey, but at least still up there. Yeah, number 3. Let's see if, maybe this could be the Stafford show. Just a little bit if you don't mind. McCaffrey, just a tiny bit. Number 5 for Stafford. Okay. Not bad. Wasn't the best pure running back McCaffrey was, or wasn't, if you will. But still up there for the MVP and all that. But the Buccaneers, a very high overall team still. Don't know if Brady's still there or not, but they lose to us. Minnesota, I mean, I got to like our chances. We shouldn't have, though, apparently, as we lose kind of early again. Well, I wouldn't even say kind of early. It's fair enough for this team. They're improving every single season, and of course the Vikings are still in the Super Bowl here, and they do lose, but at least we lost to the Super Bowl runner-ups, unlike the Vikings won and then just lost, and then it kind of gets us in like a spot of like, okay, then where are we? But overall, another little bit of a lackluster season, but a ton of money to spend. I don't know who they had to re-sign, but you got to think the team's in a good spot with some of these drafts you've seen. Or we've seen. Ooh, the team spent about like 40-some mil, maybe 50-some mil. Could be a good year. I don't know. I didn't see the overall jump, but maybe that'll happen after the fact. Draft recap. Ooh, 77 overall. Really normal, but insanely fast. Hit power is a little bit less than you would expect or want, but not bad. Another fast player, Jeromepkr, 22 years. He's kind of like DJ Moore, ironically enough, but that's not a bad thing. They go quarterback. What round was that? The 4th? Okay, I mean, that's not smart still. And once again, we could see here why dev doesn't matter. This guy's a bad player. You're thinking hidden, doesn't matter. It means literally zero unless you're going to move him to free safety or something, but it doesn't matter. Unless he was an X factor, it's not a good pick. And pretty much that's just the way the entire draft went for this team outside of the first 2 rounds. Just not a good draft, but those 2 rounds were very good. 2 positions of need as well, I'd imagine. Once again, I didn't get to see free agency, so I don't know, but I imagine you typically, well, I guess they have drafted, in this series, we've seen teams draft lots of wide receivers when they didn't need them, so we'll see. Bruh, what the hell? I was changing, because I try not to spoil it for myself, because I want to, show the team at the same time, react to it at the same time I'm showing you guys, but I seen some names at the sub spot on defense. I don't know if they added anyone on offense, but boy, I can see where their money went on defense. But, once again, this is what the offense looks like. I don't think they added anyone on offense, to my knowledge, right? It looks, well, Auden Tate, but, N'Keal Harry, nah. I'd rather start McGee. Even at number 3 is fine. But defense, whew! Oh, wait, never mind. Vaughn sucks. I didn't think Von Miller was going to be that low of an overall, but yeah, we are far down the line. That's an iffy decision now that we look at it. And then they also grabbed Judon, but Gilmore's still here, which is cool. Chin went to Superstar. I don't know if that was like a year ago. What happened? Who's this? Who's this young fella? He'll play the number... Gross Matos is still here, so Donald would be the DT then, technically. But yeah, he'll play the number 3 spot and potentially replace Donald when he's maybe gone next season. I would assume that was a 1-year deal. But okay, I mean, I'm semi-all-in, I suppose, which I guess really doesn't mean all-in, but... Definitely a good squad. It's nice to see some effort here. It's pretty good. Also, did they get rid of J.C. Horn already? Sheesh. Playoffs at 13-4. Let's take a quick look at the stats. Matthew Stafford was up there. There you go. Maybe not good enough for X Factor, but good enough for us to not force his regression. Christian McCaffrey was pretty good. DJ Moore might have been good enough for X Factor. McGee was the number 3, but maybe he was number 1 in slot, which put him up there. Tommy Tremble was all right. Offensive line is improving, but the interior needs to be doing a little bit better. Vaughn with 15 sacks, Donald with 19, and then freaking 21 for Brian Burns. That's a pretty good set of numbers there. Picks were, not great once again. Blankenship was better, though, at least. And I don't really care about kicker or punter. But Buccaneers, who are 11-6, the division's definitely getting better and better every season now, it seems. And we lose by 1. Blankenship. Hear me out, buddy. I may have to manually force you off this team if you missed an extra point. You missed a field goal and it was long. Fair enough. Stafford wasn't really that good, but tell me. Whew, you're lucky, buddy. You're lucky. Cowboys won the Super Bowl over the Bengals. It was like 59-35 or something. They go with a left tackle in round 1. He is hidden. Greg Carey. I don't know if he's good. But I also don't... Maybe they let go of Walker. I don't know. But they also go with a center. So they're really focusing on O-line here. Who's this guy? Stan Gregory. A bunch of hidden. I really can't be bothered to look at all their devs. We'll see them when we get to it. But were those all needs? I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's still insane. Really impressive. Good stuff. But... Interesting. So they kept Walker and Moten. I'm not really sure why they got Carey. Why did they draft who they drafted? Maybe they're going to lose a bunch of these guys going forward. I don't know. But they got Treylon Burks. I don't know how old Christian McCaffrey was, but they let Christian McCaffrey go? Huh? Who good is this guy? Kyron Williams, 25 years old. I mean, not bad, but really, Christian McCaffrey, almost an MVP every time, always the highest non-quarterback MVP, and they say, we don't want you. Really. I will say they went for some of the younger, like, star dev pluses that we, maybe not Akeem, but that we've seen. Still have Gilmore, which is a little surprising. Wow, I'm a little shocked. They let go of Christian McCaffrey, and the thing is, they had like 35 mil. But I suppose maybe they're thinking about the future with some of these re-signings. Once again, Christian McCaffrey may have been getting up there in age anyways. He's got to be like 30, 31 maybe. 30 years old to the Cowboys. Of all the teams, the Cowboys, who still have Zeke. Okay, I mean, it's not my doing. It's theirs. 7-10. You get rid of your number one producer on offense, and you somehow go 7-10. Who would have thought? But Stafford didn't really seem to care too much. He kind of went off. Really good stuff. Rushing was awful, though. DJ Moore was sick. Traylon Burks maybe goes to superstar. Pickens. I mean, they chose some good players. They're actually pretty good and young, but you can't let go of freaking McCaffrey. That's a huge L. Once again, thankfully, I guess, because he was, the fact that he's old, not that I'm like, thankful they got rid of him, but as far as like, him being an older guy, I guess, thankfully, but kind of hoping the Cowboys win it all now, which they don't, so I guess it doesn't really matter there, but might have been like a one-year deal, so maybe McCaffrey comes back. I don't know, but you have 70 mil. You got to pick up another sick running back. This team needs it. So a pretty bad sign for this team is that they didn't spend like any money. Picked 12 overall. They actually did some good things, but once again, were they positions of need? I don't know, because once again, who did they potentially get rid of? Javonte Wall, I would say, is most likely premature. He also doesn't look very good. Is he heavy? I'm going to put him at linebacker for them. 216, 6'2", good overall, but 86 speed. I got to imagine that's them telling us this guy should be a linebacker, right? I just don't see any other reason. 6'4", I was about to say, because this guy's really slow, but 6'4", fair enough. He's got some potential because of that. Very fast corner, who's actually not bad. This guy has a lot of potential, so don't know if they're going to use him, but okay. I mean, they did set up their line for the future, so don't really need to worry too much about that, but especially with not spending money in free agency, you probably should have done something better. I just went right back to the draft recap. I got to see who they got rid of because some just tells me that they're getting rid of good players and not, fixing it year in and year out as they have so much money again. I mean, who are they paying? Like, even if you re-sign some of the guys on your team, you're still with all that money. You might as well go for something. I did see Stafford got to Superstar X Factor, which is really big for him, staying on top of his game. Offensive line, left tackle has regressed a bit. No, he hasn't. What the hell? It looked like he regressed. Maybe it's just the morale tricking me. But Taylor Moton probably should be traded or just not used. But we're going to put Kerry at right tackle because I imagine that's his first chance to play at starting spot, as Walker is like several years younger than Moton. But let's put him at right tackle. I don't know if that center was any decent, but it looks like he was star anyways. I don't see him playing actual center, so I'm going to put him at guard because I think he is, once again, probably like 4 years younger than the right guard. So, I don't know. From going from the Bengals one where they drafted no linemen to this one is very strange because they're like overdrafting linemen now, whereas the other team obviously was underdrafting by a mile. They did lose Donald. That might have been a retirement type of thing, though. Who the hell is this? Why would we want him? Huh? I don't understand, but yeah, that outside linebacker is not starting, but he should. I get Davis Gaither has to start, but yeah, that's the team. Simply put, not going to go any further. Playoffs, back on top, but maybe not. I thought he did it not show. Wait a whole year for us to be better. What the hell? Were we not at the number one spot? I swear it said we were 9-8. Bruh. Did we really just get scammed? I will tell you one thing, though. Not keeping McCaffrey was a huge L, and Stafford, I know he just went to X Factor, but you cannot stay X Factor. If you're a 59% completion percentage, 84 passer rating, 16 interception guy, in today's NFL. You're just not. I mean, I would almost go as far as to say EA would even drop him to freaking star. I mean, look what they did to Russell Wilson. And, he wasn't even that bad. Like, this is hugely bad. Like, that is awful. This one so far, I kind of got to say that, I wouldn't say Stafford's underperforming necessarily, but he's definitely not, like, being cucked over. He's just not, elevating the team as much as he needs to. And oof, the Rams win the Super Bowl. Could have been him. I think he would have been like, what, how old? Maybe like 39, 40? Maybe still playing in the league. Maybe still on their team. I don't know. But Matthew Stafford, like I said, is going to be dropping down to a superstar. But still young. Still time to correct course. 38 million caps. Still. Team's just underpaying. Ooh, pick 4 overall. They did well, it seems. This guy could be like an X Factor, honestly. Like, that looks like an X Factor to me. 80 overall looks good, but yeah, underspending for sure, but at least they drafted a guy like this. Hopefully is... Star is great and all, but 23 years of age. They also got Solomon Leach, who looks pretty good. I don't know what his dev is. Doesn't really matter as much as the wide receiver. Another safety. I don't know how many safeties in need, but, I mean, go on, I guess. Gentry, and then another slow wide receiver that's tall. I mean, could we not do that? And we missed the playoffs again! Could we not do this, please? Once again, I haven't seen Christian McCaffrey on the list, so he may be, retired or just not very good anymore. But, man, we need to do something. This team needs to draft running back or sign one. They need to do something because right now this team is looking horrendous. We're definitely going to change the scheme at least because... yeah, it's just not working out. Nope, Christian McCaffrey's still good. He's just maybe not the number 1. It's been several seasons now, and he's still a 97. Good job, Carolina. I mean, I think those numbers, you can see the numbers there. I think he has to drop down a star. I really do, but once again, we can always bring him back up. Well, he can bring himself back up to a superstar anytime. It's just got to be fair. I mean, we're not going to put regression on or keep regression on, so... The only way for these kind of things to be as realistic as possible is if we drop the dev, when we feel fit. And I could always, raise the dev if they deserve it, but they don't get it somehow. But that usually just, it ends up happening. But the Rams versus the Chiefs, Super Bowl that people wanted to see for years now. And the Rams win. Interesting enough. Back-to-back Super Bowls there. Interesting. Ooh, only 5 mil. Uh-oh. Did they let Stafford go? I mean, it's a good-looking quarterback, but there's like 5 mil left on the team. They go with another lineman. I suppose Walker's like 28 now. Left end, and maybe Burns is getting up there too. This free safety slow. And this running back, I don't know. I guess you need a running back. Probably should have went a little bit higher, but... Okay, we're probably going to change the scheme as well this season because, we don't really have a running back that is, that good anymore like McCaffrey. But I suppose let's take a look at what the team is looking like before we do anything. And we see nothing. Yay. Or we do have a running back as good as McCaffrey. He's back. Oh, our boy is back. He's wearing number 11. We'll have to fix that real quick. But all right. I like it. Drummond, get back in position here. What are you doing, pal? Defensively, see if they added any talents. I don't see anything to my knowledge, right? I mean, this guy's still pretty good, though. Need a new cornerback number 2. Hell, we need a new cornerback number 1. CJ Henderson's getting up there, too. He's 30 years old. Cornerback needs to be addressed, simply put. And Leach... Get into your damn position. But okay, we got McCaffrey back. Maybe offense will be good again. Jesus, it's not looking good for the legacy of Stafford here. The man is kind of... How many sacks is that, Brian Burns? Wait, what was that number right there? Is that allowed? What the hell? Let's take a look at the numbers. Stafford was still not great, but the team as a whole was pretty damn good. McCaffrey just... comes back in like he never left. God damn, that guy is a nutcase. But 37.5 sacks. McLeod's like, I helped. I helped too. Kind of. Maybe. Not saying that there's really even a window Because once again, this team's 14-3, but it really doesn't feel like hey, MVP for a pass rusher. Love it. But it really doesn't feel like this team was really a 14-3 team. But you get the bye week. That comes with being the best in the NFC. The numbers look pretty good. I don't know. I mean, maybe the league's just kind of not doing that well. 89 over. Oh, man, I mean, we are that good. I mean, we'll see. We won't. I mean, we did, but not in a good way. Oh, my, dude. It's the Vikings, brother. I don't care who do they beat. The Rams, in fairness, who won 2 Super Bowls, I think, back-to-back. But still, come on. Stafford, McCaffrey wasn't that good either. Just L after L. Great job, Burns. 37.5. Like freaking 2 in a game, maybe is slightly more than that. I mean, not even, definitely slightly more than that. None in the playoffs, though. I'm glad to see it. It really helped us. He's like Aaron Rodgers of the postseason. God, well, not the Aaron Rodgers of the defense, at least. Super Bowl between it better damn be the Vikings. It better damn be them. Super Bowl winner better damn be the Vikings. It better. Oh my God. Team had about 15 mil. They're an 86 overall, so they dropped a bit. Grabbing a corner, Aaron Harris looks pretty good. He's kind of like a zone guy, which is good. Needed a corner badly. Wide receiver, don't really like it. Right guard, like it. I love it, actually. I want some more of it, actually. Middle linebacker, good pick, it seems. Very fast. All right. I mean, it's a good draft. It's pick 27. We're back to where we want to be in the draft, and it seems like we do just as well, if not better, as a later round team, or later pick in the round team. But yeah, I don't know what the team looks like, so I'm going to first glance before we do anything, changes and whatnot. Once again, this is a sim, or a career simulation, resimulation, so I'm really only just changing, the obvious clear-cut guys. There's an 80 overall, 34-year-old end, and they drafted a DN that's like a 79 overall. He's 22 rookie, I'm going to start him for them. But other than that, nothing big, right? So just, let's cheat and what. But looking at the receivers, it's such a pain to see DJ Moore drop like that. But 25 years old, Drummond, the future at the position. Fair enough, right? Like, it's still a pretty good situation. Offensive line, you got some great pieces there, so you're not worried about that. Defense, though, Burns is regressing, unfortunately. Facts of life. Safety, need a new one at free. Linebackers, you got 2 that are decent. Still need a new corner, but Harris is a good start. You need new DTs. The defense is collapsing, and we haven't even sniffed the Super Bowl, which is really unfortunate, as Stafford is, getting up there in age. I imagine he's probably 29, 30 right now, so, yeah, 29 years old. He's only star because of, his performances, but still good, still able to lead, and hopefully one of these times a Super Bowl contender, proper contender, not, 14-3, 15-2. We haven't done anything with that, but at least get to the Super Bowl. Back-to-back 14-3 seasons. I'll show you guys, we didn't force. I don't have any horse in the race. Force in the race, nothing. But, is Christian McCaffrey that good to carry this offense to the playoffs hardcore like that, back-to-back? I had to prove it, because he is, apparently. But looking at Stafford, that should definitely be good enough for Superstar again. Kept the scheme the same and all that, and had a pretty good year of it. Blocking, I guess we'll take a look, but I really don't care about those numbers, to be honest. Burns, way worse season. Of course, he did regress a little bit, but McLeod at least showed up. Maybe he'll get to Superstar. Cofield, 7 interceptions. Young Waku, 23 for 20, or 20 for 23. Stafford was pretty good. Might have been MVP. No, he's not. Number 5, really? Okay. The Jags are Trevor Lawrence. What do you... Wow, shocker. Trevor Lawrence was a good quarterback that they shouldn't have drafted a replacement for. Who would have thought? Division rival Saints. It's a win. Not by much, but it's a win. Division rival Falcons. It's a loss. Yay. We're literally higher overall than the Pro Bowl team. Oh, man. Who wins the Super Bowl between the Falcons and the Jags? It is, of course, the Falcons. I don't care because it's not a rebuild. It's not something I can necessarily control. But I kind of want to just see the overalls just real quick. So, of course, we're in 85 now, but we were like in 86, 87, I think, at the time. Bunch of 83s to 85s. So, very on par. These are kind of sliders I'd like to see for, long-term stuff like this. But the Falcons at an 83 overall won it all, which is really unfortunate for us, but not really much we can do. But McCaffrey, I don't know if he's going to be here much longer. We'll see. 85 overall, 27 mil cap room. Pick 30, which is like the worst pick to get. You'd have the worst draft pick that wasn't involved in the Super Bowl. They go with the DT, desperately needed. Hidden development trait, nice. Free safety, actually pretty big needed. Very slow, but nice hidden. 65 overall, I don't expect anyone else here to be very good, so let's ignore that. McCaffrey's still here. DJ Moore, I don't know if he retired, but he's not. Swain's 28, and you always hope that one of these guys is going to be young. Got like a steal from free agency, but nope. Who is this? Stop with these wasted picks. This guy was probably a beast once upon a time. Well, maybe not, because he's only star. But Stafford's back to superstar as expected. D-line, nothing was added. Harris was, I don't know if he got up to superstar, but he is at least a superstar. He did not go up, so they drafted a superstar corner, which is clutch. Chin, of course, a little bit, not great. Cofield must be, yeah, I was about to say, he's already regressed. He didn't dev up one time, dude. That is tough. It's really tough to deal with, but fair enough. I'm going to put Branch at the number 2 because he at least has potential, but all right, going into, what is this, like a decade of Stafford now? Not as great, but still a playoff season nonetheless. Quick stat check. As Stafford was apparently, good enough, maybe even to go back to X Factor, but at least good enough to keep superstar. McCaffrey, who's a lot lower of an overall, still played really well for his stats and all that. This isn't about the defense and all that. It's a little late into this thing, but got to try to speed it up a little bit. We don't want to look at all the defensive stats every single season. It doesn't really matter too much. As we lose again out the gate, dude. Once again, I'm not supposed to care. The Joe Burrow one, a couple Super Bowls, could have had 3. Jamar had 3. So not every single one is going to be, super successful, as you can see here. Not that Stafford doesn't have a chance still, or time, but you can see here, Stafford is just kind of the reason. He's kind of the reason, right? Like 2 picks, 3 picks, a pick or 2. Just always interceptions in the playoffs. Just doesn't play well there. And once again, we're about to head into another era, basically, of no McCaffrey. So the team drafted tight end. I will say he looks like a very good player. Maybe not the worst timing to do that, but yes, they need a receiving threats. See how good of a dev he is. Keontae Spriggs. Ooh, is that Spriggs or Springs? I can read, kind of. Strong safety Steele, of course, normal. Kind of slow. Maybe another guy that maybe they intended to play linebacker, but they grab a running back a little bit later, but he was really, no, he's, okay, I thought it was 89 speed. They had a lot of draft picks here. What the hell's going on? There's a lot of draft picks, but yeah, holy crap, dude. Multiple firsts. From what? Multiple oh, I think the game glitched out. Surely that was the undefined glitch. Interesting. Team's broke as hell now because of it too, but this team usually underspends in cap, so I'm not really worried about it going forward. Playoffs, I think McCaffrey's still here, but he's a lower overall. Not that it matters, because we miss completely. I don't know if I even care. Well, Christian McCaffrey is still good, but I don't even know if I care about the stats too much. Stafford, I'm gonna look at the numbers and see what those are. So 17th in passing. Nah, dude, he has to drop. He has to drop to star. I'm like, you know what? That's probably good enough to keep superstar, but if you average those out, that's like the 13th or 14th best quarterback. I don't think the 13th or 14th best quarterback keeps superstar. Like, it just wouldn't make any sense. At that point, you'd be pretty much keeping, like, more than half the league at superstar. Or about half the league. But, man, the problem is Stafford has kind of been a huge reason for them sucking. So I can't even say, like, oh, he should just go to a new team, because he's kind of the part of the reason. But also, if you look at those numbers, those defensive numbers did suck. The defense really hasn't been built up properly. Does Stafford have a chance to leave? And would he, I guess, would be the question. 95 overall still, even though he's star. He's kind of getting to the point of real life. Short accuracy is a little bad, but everything else is, where you'd expect or where you'd want it. Keeping that strong arm, good deep, good medium, good under pressure, good awareness. He's a good player, just hasn't played well for some reason. Down to an 82 overall now. With pick 9, they go left end. Looks very fast, looks very good. Hidden development trait, bull rush as a finesse guy, but luckily it's Madden. Doesn't matter in Sim. They go with a hidden development trait. Center, looking pretty good. Middle linebacker, 71 overall. Also hidden. I mean, it may be a little too late, but, I mean, at least they're doing something. This guy could even be hidden. He's not. He's 24 as well, which is just a huge L. But, all right, 3 hiddens. Another decent safety on top of it. That guy's, not bad, obviously. 6'4", 88 speed is pretty good. McCaffrey's still freaking here, dude. I mean, props, I suppose. Props to him. Surtain is here. 33 years old. 86 overall. He's okay because of his speed, but it's kind of it. Leach is an 87 overall X Factor. All right, I like it. Cofield finally goes to star. A little late, though, buddy. I mean, it's still a pretty bad team, actually. Missed playoffs. Oh, man, it's been a rough time. It's been a really rough time. Stafford, 34 touchdowns for... That's a pretty good year, in my opinion. I mean, that might be good enough to go back to Superstar, which... Yeah, 4 and 10. I mean, that averages out at 7. Top 7 deserves Superstar, I'd say. So we'll assume that it'll happen, on its own. But if not, we'll raise it ourselves. Tons of money spent, and another draft. A wide receiver with some speed. Normal development trait, but it doesn't matter. He's got all the traits. Super fast. 6'1", not bad. Once again, another draft. I think the game is legitimate glitching. Like you can see here that we're getting multiple picks again. I don't know how to fix that. I don't. I really, I dread having to do an actual rebuild again soon. But thankfully, that's not what this is. I don't give a damn. It clearly hasn't helped us. Not that it's happened many times so far, but we still have obviously not won the Super Bowl, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Is Christian still around? Is McCaffrey he is. Our sliders aren't even on that high. He's just he's not regressing enough. What the hell is happening here? I mean, you can see he's regressing. Let's see his ratings again. One real quick. I mean, his spin and juke move at least, isn't really that high anymore. His spin's still decently high, but he's still around. He's sticking around. Drummond, who's now a 29-year-old already, dude, which is just insane. Did get to Superstar. Was it? Yeah, this season. Did still drop in some ratings, but Stafford, who goes back to Superstar, is now a 33-year-old, 92 overall, so he's still all right, still has, some time left in the league, but will he be able to actually win a damn ring? Even get to the Super Bowl, let alone the championship round? 6 and 11. I mean, okay. Yards are up there, but touchdowns are down. I don't really... how much is rushing? Did have a lot of rushing touchdowns, in fairness, but 17 interceptions. I'm going to drop him to star, but if it turns out that a lot of teams throw a lot of picks, then, maybe I'll just have to boost him back up. But it's a little iffy, right? Then 17 interceptions is a lot, but let's see where that compares. So that doesn't count. I mean, if we don't even count, Edwards and Bird, which I won't, or Tua... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Was he dead last in the league? He was tied for dead last, or most, if you will, for picks. Yeah, star development trait. I'm not going to argue with you. Pippins, pick 6. They go for a linebacker. I honestly, I'm supposed to feel... optimistic, but at the same time, let's just be honest, it really doesn't matter they're just not gonna do it. They're just simply not gonna do it. McCaffrey may even finally be gone on top of it. McCaffrey did drop to an 85, but once again, he's there. He's all right. Whoever Dawkins is, was this a guy? I don't know who the hell this guy actually is. Pope is actually technically better, though. Stafford, he's an 88 overall now because of the dev drop, obviously. His ratings are still pretty good, but they are dropping. Could we see a quote-unquote early exit of his career? Maybe. I mean, it's kind of trending that way. But, I mean, I don't know. The team hasn't been that bad. It's just, once again, he's supposed to carry, and he just hasn't. 12 and 5. The team can be saved, apparently. I don't know, but let's see. The numbers, Stafford, 8 and 14. I don't know if that's good enough to go to Superstar. Probably not, but... McCaffrey a little bit down, but could this maybe be the year? I don't know. We haven't really looked at the total numbers in a while, but that's just because there really hasn't been much to look at. But 12-5, playoff spot. Anything's possible. I don't know what the average league overall is, but you can see that at least our opponent here, oops, wrong thing. At least our opponent here, we are at least just as good as them, if not better. But let's see. Can we prevail? Can we finally get to a championship, maybe a Super Bowl? And we at least get to the divisional. That's a lot better than we've done in the last half decade. And then we get smoked by the Niners, which puts us right back in a state of disarray and just no hope at all, to be honest. As the Giants and the Bengals, I've seen so many Bengals and Giants freaking berths here in the Super Bowl. It's nuts. It's actually nuts, dude. Stafford is no longer a Panther. I don't think he retired. I'd say he's still probably like a mid, 80s overall or 80 overall. The quarterbacks, maybe we should have busted. Okay, hey, watch out. Where is he? He's a Bengal, ironically enough. But maybe the quarterback slider should have been a little bit higher. But, I mean, I like some of the numbers here. I mean, the running backs are fair enough. Fullbacks are all right. Wide receivers are pretty good. I mean, these sliders are actually not bad for league progression here, it kind of seems. So, yeah. Thibodeau, by the way. I mean, sheesh, this guy's killing it. Every sim we do, it kind of seems to kill it. But, I mean, look at these numbers. 11.5, 15.5, 16. I mean, it's probably better just to look at the total number. It's not maybe he's part of the video, but I've just seen him go off too much. Not to quickly just take just a sliver of a look. Let's just take a look. 280 sacks. Oh my, that is quite the numbers. Maybe apparently higher. 295. It's quite the number you got there. Burns did finish at 207, but still, sheesh. So the new team who just came up short drafted a very good safety. And looking across elsewhere, not a whole lot else. So the team does have a very solid running back, and they now have Stafford, which is a little weird because they had Mahomes, 40 years old, but still insanely talented, obviously, super fast still. But the receiving group definitely not looking as good. Stafford, I mean, once again, the team he was on wasn't doing much, but as far as the talent goes, it seems like the other team was more talented, but it's not my place. It's not my place at all. Apparently 8-9, well, I guess they won the division, but 8-9 is good enough to make the playoffs around here. So I guess in that sense, maybe not the worst call. Stafford, of course, looking like he's on the last legs here, is definitely not good enough to like go up in dev or anything. Probably should go down to normal, but I'll leave him at star. I'll leave him be. But I can't imagine this team's making it back to the Super Bowl like they did last year. They did win that game in the divisional against the Chargers. And they lose, but only by 3. But man, it's kind of been a depressing one, to be honest. This has been a bit of a sad one, but in case Stafford does retire out of nowhere, because once again, he's a star dev, he's lower overall, we do want to take a look at how he finished he's up to this point in his career. 63% completion percentage, 192 picks, 464 for touchdowns, passer rating of 95.9. Some O-rate numbers, but obviously if you compare that to Mahomes, per se, which is a little unfair if I admit, definitely not as good, but also not the same amount of years played, 20 versus 15, so more picks by a lot, and the completion percentage is rough, but touchdowns and yards are, pretty on par, if not better, right? Yards per game is higher. Don't know if it shows touchdowns per game, but I imagine it's higher as well. And what was the rushing number for Stafford? 2784 with 60. Hey, that's not bad. 5-12. That is not a good year. Stafford, who I'm surprised is even a starter at this point, didn't play poorly, but just like throughout his career so far, hasn't elevated the team enough. And could this be his final year? As he, of course, is a 79 star, and that's only going to go down. Saints Texans Super Bowl, and the Saints win. What a terrible division, by the way. But let's take a look at if they even kept Stafford, if he's even a starter, if maybe he even freaking retired, like we said. And can it? The pacing of my words were perfect. It was enough time. Enough time has passed for them to have just gotten us to where we need to go. And then I could have said, hey, there he is. There he's not. Whatever it may be. And oh my God. 73 overall. I'm shocked he's still here, but All right, they see him as a starter. Stafford's still here, but he's the backup. I mean, that's basically retirement, but I guess we'll play the season out. Maybe he wins a Super Bowl as a backup, which would be a little pathetic, but a Super Bowl win is a win, I suppose. Let's take a look at his career stats. 72,377 yards, 400. I don't feel like that's true. I feel like it didn't update. I'm going to wait till the next season actually officially ends. Oh, not even on the team anymore. I don't know if he's in free agency or not, but I mean, you got to assume that it's pure retirement if nobody wants him. But let's take a look. And Stafford is a free agent. We'll go on to the next season though. But I think it's time. I mean, Stafford really just, didn't win any MVPs. Just really wasn't a good career, honestly. Like, it was good for, I guess statistically, but didn't really do a whole lot in the playoffs. Didn't win a Super Bowl. Didn't even come close to a Super Bowl. Didn't even get to the championship round. So, I mean, obviously it's Madden, so it doesn't really matter if we don't really know what would happen in real life. Maybe he'd be the next Brady if he would have played for a team that was well-equipped. But for this sim, this career resim, it was a fail. It was definitely not a good career resim for him. I mean, maybe statistically, but once again in Madden, as long as you're a starter, your numbers should be decent. And even then, he wasn't really that great. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much going to be it. Let's be honest. If this team had him as a starter, replaced him with someone that wasn't even that great, and then just straight up released him for a guy that was the same overall, actually maybe even a little bit lower, it's done for, right? It's over. But take a look at who wins the Super Bowl between the Panther. Wait a minute. Oh, man. Yikes. Of course, we'll take a look at who their quarterback was, just in case. Maybe they drafted someone really insane, and then he developed, or they traded for someone. I don't know, but it'd be really sad if it's like an 80 overall and they won the Super Bowl with him. It'd be really rough. But let's take a look. Panthers, Super Bowl winners after he's gone. And their quarterback was, a decent player, but obviously Stafford was way better than him overall in his career throughout for the most part. So super unfortunate there for Stafford, but yeah, he at least made a ton of money. Right? He got a ton of money. I don't know if we can see Stafford on this list. Chance Samuel. Maybe you'd have to be on an actual team to do that, but obviously, if there it is, 17 seasons. Stafford retires. Conrad here was actually on the team for like a year or two with him, so retires after 17 years. Postseason accolades not great. Regular season stats were decent, but postseason stats were really bad. Just a pretty average career. That's really about it. But if you guys enjoy this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PKR Plays, and then twitch.tv/Jeromepkr for streams. Like I said, later today around 10 p.m. Central Standard Time should be live. And maybe we'll see later today, that Stafford already beats this career resim with a Super Bowl win. They're definitely, I would say, favorites going in, but we'll see. Should be a good one. Hopefully it's a good one. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back. Before that, if you have any suggestions for another career resim or a career simulation, blast in the past, player, rebuild, challenge, rebuild idea, whatever it may be, let me know in the comment section below. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!